So, what now I get to do now is tire you out completely. No, what I'll just do is that I'm about to sort of close our event, but what was our thinking is that, just to perhaps repeat some of the points that were raised during the day so that, we actually do remember them. So it will be a subjective choice, but I think it all still starts with what I said in the first place. WTF, right? What the future? So the whole idea was about, I think, to get sort of, thinking going, get imagination going. And I do hope that, again, all of you, all of us, did find, let's say, some new ideas. And actually, since it's late in the evening, can I get a show of hands? Who got at least one new cool idea? That little? Who didn't get any? Everything was old and boring. Honestly, very honestly. Okay, that's good at least. Nobody raised a hand. So the point is, but I think we owe this to all the other countries and presenters and speakers who are here, because again, they really sort of feel the ones, inspiring us and providing the content, and Andres. But I'll bring out a few points. So first of all, competition. I think we've got some pretty healthy competition going on in the Nordics, and this is actually, it's also a good basis for collaborations. And we all have to say that the Swedes, they started it with saying that they want to be the first in the world. Very well, we all want to be. We all should want to be the first in the world, because then we really sort of are doing a good job. And on that note, I will rant just slightly about the rankings, which Tavi brought up. He was so concerned about us being the 21st in the latest World Economic Forum ranking. Well, we have looked into this, and we do have a bit of Bahrain problem, right? You remember that? So Bahrain basically has sort of lost places in the ranking because they don't really do taxes. So they don't really have any e-service for taxes, which means that they just get 0 points. Well, we have looked into their indexes, and we actually lose many points. So I'll give you one example. So the fact that you can set up a company in Estonia in 20 minutes or maximum 2-3 hours does not sort of, people doing the indexes cannot comprehend. For them, it means that, okay, that must mean 9 days, or whatever the numbers, but several days, because they think that each step has to take a day at least. And since technically there are 6 or whatever steps involved, that's the number. But actually all these 6 or whatever steps are taken in 18 minutes. And we can go more about that. So, you vote for parliament in Estonia. Again, this is no way how to factor it in. So my point is this, it's not about where does Estonia rank. It's, I think, our experience also shows a sort of warning for all our Nordic colleagues, saying that, look, if you guys actually put all these plans that you have, that you showed us in place, you will lose points. You will lose your first and third in ranking, because that's not what the rankings measure. So indeed, if you're on top of the game, your citizens are satisfied with you, the companies are satisfied with you, your economy is growing, our economies are growing. So again, I don't think we should be caring about those rankings too much. Or we should collaborate to change these rankings for the better, to actually sort of measure what really is the advancement of digital society in our time and now. So that's all about the indexes, I promise. I wanted to talk about learning, because that was one of the ideas for the day, that we would learn what is going on and what has been done in different countries. And a very good question was raised in the morning to the president. And I don't know if the lady is still in the room who asked that. Are you? Good, because I want to answer you for the president as well. The whole point that what we have done in Estonia is that we have never shied away from looking around and say, are there any good practices out there? Can we actually, even copy something, or just, learn the experience? And a few examples have been brought out, but Finland, they really had the EID first, and I think even you guys stole it from the Swedes, right? So again, we took the lesson and we tried it out in Estonia. We could do much more of this. Or you can take Denmark. Denmark has, full e-invoicing going on. Nothing is on paper with the invoices. We in Estonia currently are exactly trying to take their role model and have the same sort of rule by the end of this year, exactly learning from the experience. Or we can talk about, Sweden. The way that Swedes are now thinking about how to really have very simple, user-friendly services is what we should be doing. Or, the very simple point that Tavi brought out, the Norwegians, right? So the fact that they were able to show, okay, how many times different services are used, how many of these transactions are digital. We do not in Estonia have that statistics, actually, in a complete measure. So, very simple thing that we can learn. And I do hope that, all the Estonians in the crowd sort of got some ideas, what we could do more in our country. But even more, I hope, of course, that all the others, all our guests, you got some ideas of things that you could do in your countries. Which brings me to another point, but it's not about what we can do separately. Again, the final idea has always been about collaboration, what we could do together. And this brings me to the crazy ideas. So you heard them, right? Were they crazy? Yeah? Nah? Come on. What's your view? Yes? Okay, not crazy enough. Taavi, I think we have to do another event. Get really crazy. Don't come upstairs. No. Anyways, but I think that they were challenging, because if you think back, let's say, let's take a few of the examples. So having a universal design for all IT solutions out there, whatever, let's say, actually, products and services out there, which Norway proposed. Or having what Magnus from Sweden called the post-bureaucratic state with, actually automated government, going also in the line that Taavi got the question for. Or, what Finland proposed, exactly with, games in public administration, or whether it's also the question of, open interfaces actually between the administrations. Or the idea from Denmark, that we could have mandatory digital services in the whole of Europe. Mandatory in whole of Europe. And Taavi added to that at the same time, that could mean that we could have once-only data asking in the whole of Europe. If these don't sound crazy to you, I think we really have to do the event again, because from practical point of view of doing and implementing this, these, to me, they seem hard, but that's the point. They have to be challenging. And since they are challenging, the more there's a point that, actually we could be successful in implementing them if we do stuff together. So what I think that we should really continue and sit down and figure out, let's say, which are some of the things we will now put into action of all these crazy ideas. Because again, I think we had some cool stuff. So, and with that note, what I can say is that to all your Nordics, Estonia will not leave you alone. So we are very pleased that our guests made it over this time. We are very pleased that all the Estonian participants and were here to learn and take part as well. But the point is that we will come back to you. And exactly with ideas and questions and asking to, but okay, what is that we are going to do together? Not what we should do, but what will we be doing? And from Estonian side, of course, you've heard this a few times already today, we are the most keen on to have cross-border interoperability and data exchange between our governments. We really see this is the core of how we can have services between the governments. But at the same time, we are very open to discuss other ideas as well, because again, there's much, much more we can do, like you all proposed. So in that sense, I have to borrow from our president, I think. And it's not an original idea. I know it's been raised by different countries, even over dinner last night. But the point is that, well, the Nordics once did the GSM standard. Why not do a few new ones and change the world through that? And if you want to have something like a GSM standard, I think the crazy ideas have the best content for something like that. So with that, that's my subjective rerun of today. I'm sure you all had your own points that you will remember and hopefully put into action. But I should say that we do hope you really enjoyed today. We will be asking for your feedback later on over email, and we hope that you let us know, because that's where we can make the experience next time better for you. And there's one more thing. You will not get the slides of the event unless you send us feedback. And that's actually true. You don't. So do send us feedback. The other thing I have to say is, well, of course, the bureaucratic stuff, and saying, but I mean it. So we have to thank all the European Union taxpayers, because today was supported by a European Regional Fund, Regional Development Fund. And finally, and this I think I said before, so we really do have to thank all the speakers and countries who were here. So can I have your big applause for them? And my very final point, actually it's not all over yet. So when you head out, don't rush home. I know it's Friday night, but still don't rush home. There's a reception outside. We can talk some more. You can have some food, I guess, some wine. So get really the talking going. And finally, you heard this morning, very cool Estonian IT companies can do cool rock. So Rock IT party still is on in Rock Cafe tonight. So anybody staying in town or all the Estonians, that's where you should be tonight. We want to see you there. Having said that, thank you all speakers. Please stay here for 3 minutes just, and the others, we'll see you at the reception. Thank you for today.